Strategies for surviving small talk with anyone. When meeting new people for the first time, you're bound to get bogged down in small talk. When you take charge of the conversation and turn it into something more interesting, you quickly become the savior of the situation and leave a much better first impression. Read on for some quick tips on how to survive small talk with anyone. Research beforehand. Know who you're going to be meeting. If so, find out a couple of details about them beforehand. Then use those details to ask a question designed to get people talking. For example, I hear you enjoy playing golf. Tell me, what's your favorite course to play? Give an awesome introduction. When introducing people, make sure to say the names slowly so people can hear. Also, be sure to give some interesting fact or tidbit about the person you're introducing, so they have something they can talk about immediately. Remember names. In social situations, most people don't even make an effort. The very fact you do ensures that you stand out from the crowd. To remember a name, use it right away, and then try to use it another 1 or 2 times in the course of conversation. Forgot it already? Be honest and just ask again. Give long answers. If you're asked a simple question that can be answered in 1 word, or even a yes, no sort of thing, give an answer more detailed than they asked for, just to provide them with something more to work with in case they'd like to ask follow-up questions. Such as, yes, I did see that movie. We took the kids when we were on vacation in Florida. Ask about them. People love talking about themselves. Ask questions designed to draw them out. Restart the conversation. If you hit a lull, throw out a question or conversation starter to get it going again. Most of the time, this happens when people run out of small talk. So having some comments or questions prepared will get things turned around, with the awkward pause quickly forgotten. Know how to get out. Still trapped? Have an escape plan in place. Start with, I need. Statements such as, excuse me, I need to use the restroom, or, I need to talk to the host. Be sure to thank the person for the conversation, adding on to the thanks something about the conversation itself such as, I really enjoyed talking about the stock market with you, before you go. This leaves a favorable impression and proves you were listening. 4 tricks for talking to anyone. Why is it so hard to talk to people? Oddly enough, we're communicating all the time. But living in the era of direct messages, tweets, emails, and texts, it's becoming harder and harder to just talk to each other. The sad thing is, conversation is an art that's needed more than ever. To truly get ahead in your real estate business or your personal life, at some point, you need to know how to talk to other people using something more than text on a screen. If making conversation is intimidating to you, then use these tips to master the art of being able to talk to anyone, anywhere. Ask more interesting questions. Rather than asking questions that can be answered with a yes or no, try asking questions requiring more complicated answers. For example, if you're in a networking situation, learn something about the people you're going to meet. Being able to ask specifically about a new project they're developing leads to better and more interesting answers than a question along the lines of, what's new in your company, which is too broad to answer well. Forget the weather. The tendency of falling back on the weather as a topic of conversation is both tedious and a death knell to the interaction. Turn weather talks back around by asking a related question but also redirect the conversation at the same time, such as, you're right, it's been pretty hot out. It makes me think of heading somewhere cooler. Tell me, where did you go on the best vacation you've ever had? Learn the power of adding on. This is a pretty simple technique where you take what someone else has said and add something to it, adding a question at the end. This helps keep things rolling even if someone else has stopped the conversation cold with a yes, no question or something about the weather. For example, if you're asked if you saw the game last night, you might say, yes, that play at the end was really something. It reminded me of a time when I went to see them play in person. Tell me, what's the best game you ever saw? Pay attention to the details. Become the person who notices when the situation is going south. Be ready to jump in with a question or a new topic when you see people are getting uncomfortable with the situation. For a quick fix, pay a compliment. It puts the focus on someone else entirely and provides a handy distraction. Becoming a great conversationalist will become more natural with practice. Remember, the important thing is to relax and be your friendly, Personable self. By paying attention to the discussion and taking some care in choosing your words, you'll find yourself having great conversation in no time.